It always takes me a few minutes to get up on these chairs.
Yeah, these chairs are really awkward.
Hey guys, this is a nice crowd today.
It's a lovely crowd. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
It's
Do
nice
we
to
have
see
any
you.
Turn fans out there?
Yeah, look at all at the back.
So yeah, let's recap the first season for everyone, because you know the season 2 is premiering.
Yeah, I'd also just like to say that season 1 is available on Netflix. You can all catch up by tomorrow if you started tonight. Now, the first season really is about the formation of what we understand to be America's first ever spy network. It was spearheaded by Washington. It was a collection of basically childhood friends, regular people. Abraham Woodhull was a farmer. And they all came together and they went on a mission for Washington to help turn the tide of the war against the British. I mean, it really did help him kind of formulate what we now understand to be the United States of America. And they are maybe some of the greatest unsung heroes in American history.
Yeah, and you play one, Abe Woodhull. Tell me how you got involved in the series to begin with.
Yeah, so there's this guy called Rupert Wyatt. He's a director. He directed things like Rise of the Planet of the Apes and stuff, and he was tapped for the pilot. And I know Rupert. He's a British filmmaker, so I'd met him a bunch of times back in England, and we'd always trying to find something to work on together. And he sent me this pilot, and he said, "Would you ever consider television?" And I think I just seen that how the tide was turning with television, just the kind of stories that were being told, the attention to detail, the quality on TV was just so great, the kind of talent it was attracting. And I just really saw this as a great opportunity. I thought it was a great character. He's such an underdog kind of character, and I love those characters. And he's someone who stands up for something, and he believes in something. So then I met with the showrunner, and AMC's a great network, and all just kind of went from there.
Yeah, and you're a British actor playing a spy for the American cause, pretending to be British.
It's complicated.
Yeah. Tell me about that. Like, how did you dive into this role?
Well, I mean, like, you know, it's weirdly though, I mean, I think for the time, what we understand as American, as being American, just wasn't the way it was back then. I mean, like, basically, they were all kind of cousins of Englishmen, brothers of Englishmen. I think, like, the way we should kind of consider this war and this conflict is really more of a separation of family, of a younger brother standing up against a bully older brother. So it kind of actually, in a way, weirdly made sense. I am an Englishman who now resides in America, so I think actually it kind of made sense in a way.
And tell me a little bit about the cast that you work with. And, you know, you guys have to wear these costumes, and you kind of have to create accents and things like that on your own, because we really didn't know how people spoke and dressed and act. So how did you go about that? I know you kind of use an Irish accent, you say, in the show.
I mean, there's no way of knowing what these people sounded like. I mean, I would imagine, just geographically speaking, it must be like a mishmash of some kind of European, definitely English, you know, maybe some Dutch in there, you know, definitely Scots, Irish, Welsh, a lot of West Country. I don't know if any of you are familiar with a West Country accent, what that would be like, but to me it sounds particularly agricultural. And I just don't think that is heroic at all. I mean, I guess it's good and necessary for a farmer, maybe, but it just doesn't sound heroic. So I love an Irish accent. If I meet someone who's Irish, I'm like, I like you. Just based on the sound. I don't know him, but like, he sounds Irish. I like him. So it's a melody. It's got a melodic tone to it. That's my phone. So yeah, it's probably you guys tagging me in a photograph saying you're on AOL Build. I know I'm here. I'm on AOL Build. I know. But also the thing with the Irish accent is that, you know, the historical troubles between English and Irish specifically, I thought was just another layer. If I played an Irishman, there was that extra little bit of antagonism between the English, which I just thought added something else.
So tell me where season 2 picks up for your character and for everyone involved.
Season 2 picks up in a place where, you know, at the end of the first season, he's a reluctant hero. He wants the war to stay away from his doorstep. At the end of season 1, which you're all going to watch tonight on Netflix, the war basically turns up on his doorstep. So now he has a decision to make, and season 2 begins with him basically putting all of his chips on the table. This guy he's all in. He's on a mission, and he's willing to risk everything. I think in season 1, he had a lot of things that he was bargaining with, and he realized that legacy is important at that time. His father's very much on the other side of the fence, You know, his wife is very much on the other side of the fence. He has a son to raise. He has a farm to, you know, to work with and stuff. So this is very much a character now who's willing to kind of jeopardize all that stuff for the liberties and the freedom that we have today.
Yeah, and the filming is so beautiful, and especially, you know, some of the battle scenes. Tell me about that. Where do you guys film?
I'm on AOL Build. I know I'm on AOL Build.
So popular.
Watch, it will be. It will be. Yeah, mentioned by AOL Build. Hashtag term with that one. You're now on AOL Build. I know. I'm here. I'm doing it. Well, yeah. So yeah, I mean, Richmond. We shoot the show in Richmond, Virginia. I'm going to now be a bit of a tourist board for the Commonwealth of Virginia, because it's not a state, it's Commonwealth, which has some of the most amazing colonial buildings, you know, a beautiful countryside. We actually shoot in Thomas Jefferson's childhood home. I actually play soccer right outside of it. If he knew that, he'd be really pissed about that. But it's amazing. I mean, you know, what's the thing I didn't really learn learn a lot about the Revolutionary War in school because I'm English. And they just don't teach it. They don't. They just don't teach it. So this has been like a real learning experience for me, you know, and I really believe that there's no better way of learning than kind of living it, you know, and as an actor, you get so many opportunities to kind of travel back in time and, you know, just going there every day and putting on the costume and you immerse yourself. It's very immersive. You know, you are in the 18th century all of a sudden, and it's a good way of learning.
And you do play someone who was, you know, he's real. So did you ever go back? Did you read about him, get to know about who he was before doing the show?
Yeah, there's not a lot that is known about him. I mean, I think as a spy, if there's stuff known about you, it probably means you weren't a very good spy. Like, we know who Nathan Hale is, for example, and he's dead. I mean, you know, but he was caught, you know, obviously doing something incredibly noble, but you know, nothing is known of any of these people. Today I came from Washington, D.C. To come down here, and I was amazed. I was like, there's just nothing that is in dedication to these people for what they did. There's nothing that they're remembered by. They went to their graves with this secret of what they did. And, you know, I guess that's a testament to their skill as a spy network.
And then you go from this role, and you have the Fantastic Four coming out, which everyone's really excited about. Yeah. Tell me about that. How did the casting process happen, and are you excited to play the Thing?
I'm hugely excited. It's a huge responsibility. You know, it's a very kind of beloved property. It's, you know, it's in the comic book universe. I mean, it's right up there with, you know, all the rest of them. So, yeah, there was a lot of hoop jumping and trust and people, you know. I mean, I think people were kind of confused when I was cast. But, you know, this is very much an origin story of these characters. I haven't seen the film yet. I'm very excited to see it. But what I can tell you is, you know, just from the making of the film and the journey that we've been on with it, is that the film it's very much an experience. It really is. And it's fun. It's really fun to be a part of. It's Simon Kinberg, who's a great comic book writer, just runs through his veins. And Josh Trank is just an original, unique filmmaker. So I'm very, you know, flattered and humbled to be a part of it, really.
Yeah, and Josh said he was looking to work with you and find a project that would be good. And this is kind of a character we haven't seen you ever play. So tell me about diving into that action kind of role.
Yeah, I mean, you know, well, I should talk about the technique, how we kind of, you see what I did there? I'm just now moving it onto the question that I want to answer. It's quite clever. It's because I just come from DC. So no, I just think we use performance capture to really to get the essence of him, because obviously I'm not made of rocks and I'm obviously not 6'8".
But you had to have gained, you definitely bulked up, right, for the role.
Yeah, I mean there was a bit of that. We were all kind of on you know an exercise regimen and stuff. But you know, I think more than anything it was about capturing the essence of a human being inside of that character when he is transformed. And you do that through motion capture, performance capture, a technique that my friend Andy Serkis has very much spearheaded. He is the guru of performance capture, motion capture. I've been lucky enough to work with him 3 or 4 times actually. So I very much consider him my mentor, if I'm allowed to say that. You know, but it's a very immersive technique that you use, and it is about performance. You know, it's about puppeteering a character that otherwise couldn't exist. You are you know, without the actor there, it's just a lifeless puppet, and you have to bring it to life. And as an actor, that's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a great learning experience. And you have Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan and Kate Mara. And, you know, Miles and Michael are kind of skyrocketing to fame. What was it like to work with, you know, a younger group of actors around your age who are all, you know, trying to make it big in Hollywood and doing this awesome Fantastic Four remake?
I was really excited by the casting of this movie. I thought it was a really kind of original casting. You know, it was a cast of actors, first and foremost. I think they're all kind of, Kate included, all very individually very talented actors. You know, I mean, we've all seen Whiplash. It was amazing. It was an incredible performance. I mean, just astonishing. He's incredible to work with. He's got such a natural affinity for acting. You know, I would see some of his takes, and I just kind of walk away and go, like, it's just easy for him. It's so easy. It's like, you know what I mean? It's something so enjoyable to watch when an actor just knows what he's doing, has so much control. And I could say the same thing for Michael, too. You know, I thought Fruitvale Station was astonishing film. I walked away from that film so changed and so affected by the way he grounded that human in reality. And, you know, same thing for Kate. You know, I mean, I feel very fortunate to be in this group. I think it's a very special group, and I feel very lucky to be included in it.
And you have been around for a while, though. As we know, he was Billy Elliot, which is 15 years old.
15 years ago.
Isn't that crazy? Does it feel like yesterday, or?
No, it really doesn't. No, I mean, you know, that was what a crazy way to kind of come out the gates, you know, in a way. I mean, I think when you make your first film, you know, you're wondering where the next job is going to come from. You don't know what the rest of your life is going to be like. But so when you make something like that, I mean, it really is the golden ticket. I can't imagine a better way to start, really. You know, so I was talking about this earlier. Is that the truth is, the thing about Billy Elliot is that he's such a transcendent character. He's bigger than I am. Now, I mean, he's like he exists in his own place. You know, this musical has been very successful. I think it's been in 6 or 7 different territories around the world. The character's been played by kids from all different kinds of backgrounds, different ethnicities. He is a character that is embraced universally for a message of hope and a message of chance and opportunity. So, you know, you have to kind of let him go. He doesn't belong to me, you know. And in a way, I think that's the best thing you can do, is hand that baton over to someone else who, you know, has a similar story, who, you know, gets that opportunity to play that character.
Do you have one memory that sticks out from that time?
First take.
Really?
It's the first take of that movie is basically the only thing I remember, because I never made a film before. Obviously, you know, I didn't know what a film crew was like, what it took to really work on movies. You know, I mean, the circus comes to town. It's mental. They take over this small town. This poor small town's like, what the hell is happening? So the scene is, I'm supposed to run out of the house. I go into an alleyway. I look one way where the camera is, and then I run up the street. And I remember coming out. I was like, first take. I was like, you know, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, what is acting? Here we go, action. And I run out, and then I come out, and I look one way, and I see just how many people are watching. I was like, I'd never considered that a film crew consists of 100 people who are going to like watch everything you do. I've never ran so fast in the opposite direction. I was like, just gone, just disappeared. Basically, after that, I really can't remember anything else. Yeah.
Not even the dance moves?
No, I think I was so scared. I just went into shutdown mode. Everything shut down.
Well, you were so young, and it kind of catapulted you to this new level. Do you remember at that time being, you know, in this Hollywood kind of atmosphere at all, and being a little like, oh my gosh, why do I want to be an actor? Or did you always know you wanted to be in this field?
I remember the song from Pinocchio, An Actor's Life for Me, which I always used to sing, but now, retrospectively speaking, that song is actually kind of messed up. It's kind of weird. No, I enjoyed being other people. When I was a kid, I really did. I used to obviously dance, and there was a dance called characterization. It's called character dance, where you had to kind of, like, I played a frog, and I played a scarecrow in some of these dances. And that was so fun to me. It was kind of the most fun dancing you could do, because it was really incorporating an idea and a personality into your dancing. So that was kind of the first acting I did. I did like pantomimes. I was part of the National Youth Music Theatre as a kid. Very much a musical theatre kid. But I didn't see a career as an actor. That was crazy. But then, so when that did take off and you are in those circles, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Just crazy.
And you have a son now. Do you hope that he watches Billy Elliot and Fantastic Four and all this? Do you think he'll have an interest in it, or can you tell from his personality?
You mean an interest in movies in general, or like an interest in his dad?
Movies and maybe being like you and being an actor one day?
I don't know. I mean, like he has two parents who have, very, actor-orientated, entertainment-orientated, that kind of thing that you have. So I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I guess you just have to kind of wait and see what they kind of naturally gravitate to. I don't know. He's very musical, though. I will say that. Yeah.
I saw one tweet that you put out the other day, which was trying to get sunscreen on a 20-month-old or something.
Yeah, it's impossible. Has anyone ever tried that? It should be like an Olympic sport. Yeah. It's impossible. Basically impossible. It goes everywhere else but the kid. Yeah.
Well, let's open it up to the crowd for some questions. I know there's some fans out there. Shy guys.
Shy guys, seriously.
I don't really have a question, but when you were Nicholas Nickleby, I went to tears, and your performance was just great. So I just want to say thank you for that performance.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you, man. Not a question, though. I'm kidding.
My question is, I saw something you wrote about keeping good people around you, something along the lines of that. And what, as far as, it was something related to the article about Heath Ledger and his death. And you said something about don't get ill, don't get depressed, something like that. So what are things that you do as far as getting through that? Because it's easy to say that, but the actual act of doing that, what are things that you do?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I said. Let me put it this way. I think, it's so easy, especially as a child actor, which I was, and I think we all know what, somehow the consistency, the continuity a lot with child actors is usually not good. It kind of doesn't end up well. It doesn't go the way that I think we all want it to go, for whatever reason. But I've been very blessed, I've been very fortunate to have people around me that, will just call me out. They just call me on my stuff. They're just like, you're being an idiot right now. Stop doing that. Read a script, do some work. So I've just been very fortunate to have just good people. I've also been with my manager for 15 years almost. I've had the same agent from when I started. Loyalty is big in this business, and I think it helps. It definitely helps you carve out a career. It definitely helps you make better choices. It definitely helps you understand yourself better as an actor and probably as a person. But I think to myself a lot of the time, every day, like, what am I still doing here? How is this still happening? How does this work? I feel very fortunate in that regard.
I was like, it's a great job to have, though. How do you look for a role, and how do you say yes to a role? Like, what pulls you in and says, this is a script that I'm really passionate about and I want to do?
Well, usually, the directors, everything, I think. It really is a director's medium, especially feature film. But I think there has to be like at least a bit of the script that you can relate to personally. There has to be one thing where you go like, I've walked that, I've lived that, I understand what that is. And I think that one little thing you always go back to. You're always kind of re-referencing as you go into the movie. So it doesn't even really matter what it is, but it's just that there's one little thing that wholeheartedly, like truthfully, that you've lived that part, you understand that part. It makes it easier. But usually a director, the script itself, like when you read a good script, you're like, that's a great script. And you just know, you finish the last page, you get goosebumps, you're like, oh, yeah, I got to be a part of that movie.
Hi, Jamie.
Hey.
You've always been so well known as a physical actor, but I feel like you've especially taken on some darker, more emotional roles, either in Turn or as Kay in Lars von Trier's Nymphomaniac. Can you talk about the kind of unseen physical preparation that goes into those roles, or how you get to that dark place?
Yeah. What time is it? It's in the afternoon. Are we not? Are we in the afternoon? We're in the afternoon. We can talk about S&M now.
Hey, we're on the internet.
Yeah, we're on the internet. It's fine. Who cares? It's all on the internet anyway. The thing is, what I like about something like that, for example, is I think that just the casting itself is the trick, almost. When you see a character, I don't know if you guys have seen this movie, it's called Nymphomaniac. It's basically a saga of a woman's sexual desires from childhood onwards. She has an addiction to sex and that sense of expression and how she expresses herself sexually. It's Lars von Trier, obviously. But I just thought that the casting of me in that, I play a guy who's like really heavy into S&M, and he that's kind of his job, honestly. He's like a doctor for S&M. He has appointments, and they all come and see him, and they all have specific code names and things like that. But I think like when he cast me for that, I was like, why you come to me for that? Why'd you come to Billy Elliot to do that? It seems like so weird. But I think that is part of it. I think like Lars and other filmmakers, I even think, it's the contrast to that idea, I think, makes it interesting, and there is no real preparing you can do for something like that. Hi, I'm Charlotte Gainsbourg. Hi, I'm Jamie Bell. I'm going to tie you up now. I mean, like, what are you supposed to say? I did do a little research around the internet and finding some stuff. Yeah, I mean, and learning how to tie certain knots. There's a whole thing. That,
Did you read 50 Shades of Grey?
My friend owns a sex shop. I went into a couple of sex shops just to see what kind of characters were hanging around in these places, see if I can get like a character thing that I could attach to myself, that thing that I needed. But then also what Lars said is he was like, what I like about you doing this is that you shouldn't do what you think is written. You just try and be as you as possible, and I think it'll work. And I think ultimately Lars has such a specific way of working. There's no rehearsal. You literally walk onto the set and he says action, literally. So you're kind of flustered and unprepared anyway, but I think he likes that. But weirdly, I actually saw Charlotte Gainsbourg in a grocery store after, tying her up and spanking her and doing all this kind of crazy stuff. And she was like buying her eggs and milk. And we didn't say like a single word to each other. We might have said, hello, I'm Charlotte, hi, I'm Jamie. That was basically it, and then we started. But when I saw like so out of context, I had to like leave the store. I like ran out of the store. I was like, I can't even handle this. She's gonna hate me. But it's weird. I like doing things like that. It's different. I think actors want variety and they want contrast. And from Tintin to that is very different.
That's a leap. No, I threw in there a little. Did you read 50 Shades of Grey to get a little inspiration?
I didn't. I've never read 50 Shades of Grey. I really. Do I want to read? I mean, yeah, I should read it.
Well, I think the movie you're in is much more S&M than that one ended up being.
Full on, yeah. Yeah, it's full on.
But it's cool to see your character range. Every character that you've ever played is very different from the one before. And you've talked a little bit about that just now, but is there any character that you'd love to play in the future?
Someone I just did an interview the other day, and they literally described my career as a pinball machine. They were like, "You're Tintin, bang, Nymphomaniac, bang, like Fantastic Four, bang, gonna play a serial killer, bang." Like, it's true. I mean, I don't know why that is. It's not a conscious decision. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think just having you have to obviously balance art and commerce as much as you can. And there's the whole theory of one for them, one for me, one for them, one for me. But I'm really kind of driven by filmmakers. I like Lars von Trier as a filmmaker. I think he'll go down as one of the most experimental filmmakers who affected the medium. But I also love Steven Spielberg, who's, kind of the antithesis, but at the same time still the same thing. Like, they're filmmakers at heart, and I really enjoy being in the presence of those kinds of filmmakers who just live and breathe movies, So anything I can do to work with like auteurs like that is, I'll do anything, really.
We have time for one last question. Hi, Jamie. When you're not watching Turn Season 1 on Netflix, is there anything that you love to watch? Any other shows?
Really good question. I don't watch television. It's bad, isn't it? It's pretty bad.
Well, you're on a television show.
Yeah,
so.
no, yeah. I mean, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I've tried to watch a few things, and like I have a really short attention span, so I just move on. What I did watch recently was The Jinx. We've all seen The Jinx, right? Right. Yeah, thank you. Jarecki is the man. But actually, I really do enjoy. What I love watching is documentary film. I watch a lot of documentaries. I'm excited to see the Alex Gibney. I haven't seen that yet. Going Clear. Has anyone seen that yet?
Yeah, okay, we saw it.
I really want to see that.
Watch it.
I'm just more affected by them. I think I remember them more. They touch me more deeply, I think, than fictional feature film to be honest with you. I just think I learn more. They profoundly last with me too. Like some of my favorite, all the Errol Morris documentaries I'm in love with. Things like Touching the Void. Do you remember Touching the Void? Has anyone seen that? It's a story about a mountain climber and just something goes wrong. It's a brilliant documentary. I'll tell you why it's a brilliant documentary and then we'll wrap up. It's a brilliant documentary because the guy who's telling you the story of what happened to him is alive because he's telling you the story. But as you're watching the recreation, you're like, I don't know if he's going to survive. How do you do that? And that's that is amazing filmmaking. It's incredible. The guy's talking to you, and you're like, I don't know if he's obviously not going to make it. He broke his leg. He's fallen into a glacier. He's going to die. It's amazing. I'm very affected by those kinds of things.
Well, maybe one day you can make one for all of us to watch.
I'd love to find a subject. I really would. I actually thought about this. I was like, I should go back into like my dancing thing because that world of like competitive amateur dancing is so full on. So full on. So maybe I should do something like that.
That's a great idea. No one steal that. Let's hope Jamie Bell makes it. All right, well, thanks for joining us, and everyone watch Turn
Really,
Season 2.
Thank you.